Yeah, finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I've been trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like, let's say, a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up.
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah, also as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel, and then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
it's
the
It's like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that, if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, we're back. I'm sorry for the issues with the commercials and the software system. We got to get Justin on the line real quick, so I will give him a buzz. But please,
we did have
hang tight for a second here.
Guess how many comments we had before we quit?
How many?
19.
Oh, sweet.
And one of the comments, Rory asked, the races that you're talking about, are they televised? Okay, like a live timing? Gotcha. We'll look into that, Rory, get you a better answer. All right, we're bringing Justin on here in just a second. Sweet, I see some cool orange stuff there.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, thank you very much for dealing with our application issue. What's up, Justin Covarrubias? What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm good.
We're doing great, man. We're really stoked to talk to you, man. It's pretty cool to have you on and to have met you this weekend.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, and it was awesome to meet you.
What'd you end up thinking about the actual races?
I thought it was good. The track was brutal, tough on the cars, tough on the body. And it was a battle of attrition. Just getting to the finish was tough. So I thought it was a good weekend. Hanging out with everybody as usual is always a good time. So
heck yeah, man.
Good one for sure.
I definitely think it was a good one too. I like your backdrop. You got a bunch of cool motocross stuff back there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got some stuff set up for you guys, some memorabilia that I've kept.
So you were number 10 when you rode,
110. The 10 came out when I couldn't get that number. But, yeah, definitely the 10 stuck. I think after I did the Supercross Challenge, probably, that's what that bib's from. I didn't get to choose that, and I think after that, it stuck.
Yeah, that's cool, though. 10's a cool number. Mm-hmm. You know who else was 10 was Ryan Dungey, right?
Dungey had it. I think Fonseca had it. Brayton has it. A lot of guys have it. So, cool guys.
What kind of bike did you ride when you were riding dirt bikes?
I rode a lot of bikes. My last bike was a Honda CRF 250R.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I rode Yamaha 80s, Cali 65s, and KTM 50s.
Oh,
so
right.
I rode everything but Suzuki and Husky, I think.
Justin's pretty important. He's got landline people calling in.
Yeah, we still got one of
those. Sweet, man. Well, yeah, like we were saying earlier on the show, it's really cool to see all the people at the works races and stuff. Like, I didn't expect that, man. It was my first works race I had ever been to, and I didn't expect to have everybody be so nice and just have such a good time up there, man. It was super cool to meet not only your family, but all the other families and stuff that were there. It's rad.
Yeah, it's a really cool environment, and that's the best part. You know, we race and we drive for only so long, and the rest of it's hanging out and wrenching, and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a good time.
I think that's what Jesse's having the biggest problem with, hanging out and wrenching. He just wants to get out there and ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just wants to pin it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all right. So enough about the works races. Let's start talking about you, man. So you grew up in the dirt too, or what?
Yeah, since my dad got me into it when I was young, about 3 years old, I think I started on PW 50, and from there it just took off. I think I loved it before I could even do it, because I'd always need my goggles and my gloves when I pushed my tricycle around when I was really young. So, yeah, we got pictures of that. Those are a little embarrassing. Cheeks squeezing out and everything. So, yeah, it was definitely, since before I even could touch a dirt bike, I think I fell in love with it.
That's cool. I met your mom, Jamie, and your dad, Ray, over the weekend, too. So your dad rode dirt bikes before?
Yeah, he got into it with his brothers on his own. He has a lot of brothers and a big family, and they all pitched in to buy a Honda 70, I believe, and they ride it around by their house and stuff, and that's how they got into it, and then they passed it down to us.
Oh, how cool. So they all shared it?
Yeah, they all rode the same bike. He even
Dang.
showed me where they used to derby around by their house.
Dude, that's great. You're probably like the same as us, though. Like, ain't nobody riding my bike, and he's
Yeah.
got to share it with all the.
Right.
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't have to do that, but
I'm gonna start.
grateful for.
I'm gonna start keeping a tally because that's about number 10
Yeah.
PW50.
Yeah. I think PW50 is like the most common bike we've had on the
Dude,
show.
it's the undisputed champion. It's the knockout king, right? It's. I mean, everybody starts with a PW50. Well, unless you're us, we started too late or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's so cool. I am gonna start a tally. I'm gonna have to go back and keep track.
What if we both got PW50s now?
Right, then we'd be good.
We'd be part of the gang.
Yeah,
Cool bikes for sure.
absolutely.
So that's cool, man. So your dad lived the dirt life for his whole life with all his family then, huh?
Yeah, I definitely would not be in this or doing any of this stuff without him. He's the best mechanic I know. He's taught me everything I know, and we go to races together and everything, so it's cool to be doing it still.
It definitely is. Well, right when I showed up and came over and shook your hand, your dad was working on your car, man. He was getting that thing all dialed in for you to get out there and moto.
Awesome.
Yeah, he leaves no stone unturned for sure. He, like I said, taught me everything I know, and is part of the reason why things go smooth at the races.
Yeah, and you definitely did good. You definitely did good this weekend, and we want to talk about it. But let's keep talking about your life, man. So you were doing PW50s. When did you start? Were you pretty young?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years old on training wheels, but I got a little sketchy with the training wheels on, so Dad took those off pretty quick, and I think I rode a dirt bike for a bicycle, so
Oh, really?
yeah, pretty dumb.
Dude, no,
No, it's awesome.
yeah, that's pretty awesome, dude. Well, that's cool. So you were into it from a super young age, but does that mean that you didn't want to do any of the other sports? You just wanted to play in the dirt, like, or did you like football and soccer and that kind of stuff too?
I did like to play the sports. My mom's a big baseball fan, so I did play baseball, and I did enjoy it, but moto was all on my own, and I could control my own destiny and how I did, and that just kind of turned me away from the team sports a little bit. I really liked just being out there on my own and controlling how I did.
You just like all the glory for yourself, like us.
You know what's so funny about that? I don't know if I've said it on here before, but I wanted to play football, and I did some team sports when I was little, but we were dooners and whatever. And again, I wanted to play football. And my dad was like, "No, I'll let you race moto, but I'm not gonna let you race or play football because you can't control the other 15 Brunos coming at you, right? Or however many he is," which is so funny because you can't control the other guys on the bikes either. But in his mind, that made a lot more sense. So thanks, Pops.
That is pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
You can control your own destiny, but
Right.
you go into the first corner, and first there's 20 dudes behind you that
Totally.
are getting ready to take you out.
At that point, I was like, no football, but we're going to race. Let's do it.
Yes, please. So did you just go like race in the amateur ranks and stuff like that? Get a KX60, or like what was the next steps?
Yeah, I started out racing desert. I raced the USDR series, US Desert Racing. I believe they're still around. It's kind of a smaller desert series, and that's how I started on 50s. And then I would practice on the moto track, and then I started just racing moto, about probably 65s or 80s. But all amateur. I did Mammoth 1 year, and that was really my only big race. I mostly just raced for fun and hadn't gotten too serious about it yet.
And what class did you race at Mammoth?
I rode 250C. I probably should have been riding B, but I was trying to do well in that before I moved up.
We got a few people talking about your family too. Best mom ever.
So, best dad ever too.
Yeah, best dad ever. The Covarrubias family rules.
Awesome.
Very lucky with the parents I have.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have any other siblings?
I got a little brother.
Oh, right on. Is he into it?
He rides. What was that?
Is he into it too, like dirt bikes and side by sides and stuff?
Yeah, he loves it. I want to get him in my car on one of these days after I race to try it out. He loves to ride his dirt bike, and I think he'd like racing a car even more.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's kind of neat that the side by sides are out now, right? Because like you don't have to ride a dirt bike; you can actually go out and like still have almost the same moto fun on a side by side.
Yeah, exactly. The things are so capable on the moto track that, I mean, you can almost pick. Other than turning, I think it's not that much different.
Yeah, the only thing we were talking about though is like you can't
Using
like.
your body.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't use your body, and it's like that. So much more is relying on the car. So hey, there you go. So much more is relying on Dad making the car work good, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit more important than wrenching, I'd say. Well, both ways. I'd say it's a little bit more dangerous on the dirt bike, and then you definitely have to keep up on your stuff to keep those cars going the whole race.
Oh, Grandpa Brad loves you, buddy. Is that what it says? I can't see.
J-Dog.
J-Dog.
Yeah.
Love you too, Brad. Yeah.
So I didn't.
That's my nickname.
Oh, is that it? Right on. Well, yeah. So we kind of all grew up the same way, just kind of like riding dirt bikes and having fun. One of the things that I like to ask everybody, and we'll get into your schooling and stuff too, but like, what kind of things do you think that growing up in the dirt and growing up at the track and with your family and stuff, what do you think that's taught you now? I guess even with the injury, but just growing up, like, I mean, to me, it seems like it's a really, really good tool to having all that stuff when you're young.
It definitely is. The sports taught me, besides my parents, I think riding dirt bikes taught me a lot about life, and it's a brutal sport at times. I mean, it's definitely not easy, and it teaches you to be gritty, Sometimes you just got to grit it out to finish those races and be tough, and track's rough, and like you said, other people coming after you, and teaches you to be mentally tough when you got someone bearing down on you for the whole race or something like that. And then just the family aspect, to be able to do something for all those years with the family and meet the friends and people that I have. A lot of my friends like dirt bikes. I would say most of them watch and follow dirt bike stuff if they don't ride and race. So, and they've all stuck since I was little. I have friends from junior high and even elementary school that I knew from racing and stuff. So I'd say it's been a huge part of who I am, and yeah, it's just a big part of my life, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I think that for real, like, most of the stuff that I got from what he just said was, it teaches you respect because you respect the people around you. It teaches you how to be humble, and it also teaches you how to work hard. So I think a lot of those things have translated into our adult lives. How is it doing with you, like with school and obviously dealing with the new injury and stuff like that? Has it made it easier knowing what you know from all that stuff growing up?
Yeah, I feel like at a pretty young age I learned that training was going to help me out with racing, and I think that kind of carried over into when I got hurt. I love to train and do everything my physical therapist wanted me to do, and I'm not sure that if I didn't fall in love with training and what it could do for me, that I would be that way now, Then as far as school and stuff, that's something I kind of got to apply that to, I got to keep going and get myself a degree in something something that's going to help me out in real life,
Yeah,
outside of racing.
exactly. And it's like I hated school, man. Like I couldn't stand it. Like
Yeah.
I never ever wanted to go to school. The only thing I wanted to do is just bail out and ride my dirt bike, right? But when I got injured, I was forced to obviously get an education and stuff like that. And I hated school so much that I decided I wanted to just get it over and done with as quickly as possible. So I went to school for 10, 11 hours a day as much as I could and just knocked it out. And I got my degree in 2.5 years just because I just didn't want to be there. I just wanted to get to work. So
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And I'm a little bit that way. I kind of can't wait to get to work. The schooling's a little bit tough, but you know, just got to get through it.
yeah, exactly. So we had a comment that said Dustin is dying to say hi to you,
For you to say hi to him.
or for you to say hi to him.
Hi, Dustin.
So that's pretty cool, though. You got Dustin as a fan, man.
I
Pretty
think
awesome.
I think that it kind of goes with everybody that has been involved with that kind of stuff in moto and any kind of racing, that like there's a critical thinking that has to take place, like whether we realize it or not. But how many times did you leave the race? You probably still do. And you're driving home. How many times have we talked about this?
Yeah.
And you're analyzing what could have been better. Even if you had a great weekend, you're still trying to think through, like battle through exactly like you did in the race or the moto or whatever. Like, what could I have done better? Oh, next lap I'm going to do this. Like, you're doing that in real time.
Yeah.
And then you're also doing it outside of like, okay, how can I make the race program better? And what I'm getting at, I'm tying this together, is the same kind of thing. I guarantee you're applying to, your life skills, schooling, whatnot. And I just feel like that's so.
And even maybe his recovery too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and look at how people have decided to adapt to certain things.
Yep.
Right? You guys built the hand clutch, and it's all those things, and you just have programmed your mind with that stuff that now it's just like second nature. Like, oh, there's a problem. That's all right. We're going to find a solution.
Yeah,
It's so common, I think.
that actually brings up a good point, Justin. Like, do you think that way? Like, since you have been a racer and stuff, does that change your mental outlook after being injured?
I think so. It like you said, you analyze yourself pretty heavy after a race, and
Right, to a fault
don't
sometimes,
even
right?
sleep at night.
Yeah.
Sometimes you lose some sleep over you just thinking about it because it matters. We love racing and we're competitive and we like to do well, but I definitely think it's carried over. Like you said, the critical thinking is important in all aspects of life. It's important to understand things and how it's happening and how you can do better at everything you do. So it's definitely an important lesson I'm taking from racing.
Dude, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, we got a comment too about that. It amazes me how addicting racing can be and what people will do to overcome it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a love that never dies. I mean, if you really love it, I think it never goes away. It's something I think about all the time, and my free time I watch races. I watch old races, new races. It's just something that never leaves you.
Dude, are you super bummed about Supercross not being on?
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I was talking about most of the weekend.
Yeah. And he owes it all to the PW50.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we've mentioned it a couple times. Let's take a step back real quick. So you raced some amateur races and things like that, and you raced locally. Were you live in California or Colorado? Because we saw a comment that said Colorado. Yeah, I thought you said California, like Santa Clarita or something, right?
Yes. Yeah, Santa Clarita, California.
Okay. We had a comment saying Colorado. That's why I got confused. But so being from Southern California, you still have pretty good, like, we wouldn't call them local races, I guess, or amateur races, like in California too. Did you do good at any of those races?
I didn't go to them much. I qualified for Mammoth in 2014. That was my one and only amateur national. I mostly raced locally. I wish I would have done some more, but I was kind of just getting into it and pushing for those kind of races towards the end of my dirt bike career.
So what actually ended up happening then? Like, what bike were you on? Where were you at? And like, maybe take us through that day that changed your life.
I was on that CRF 250R. It was 14, and I was at Milestone at a Trans World Series race. I raced 2 classes that day, and I ended up crashing in my last moto of the day real late. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I don't remember too much from the crash till I woke up in the hospital. I remember the section and right up to the jump and all that, but after that, it's pretty blank.
Did anybody ever any catch it, or did anybody tell you like what they thought happened, so they could give you a little brief on it?
They they thought I knew where it was, and somebody had seen it, I believe, but no, I really don't have a good picture of what happened. Nobody really saw it too clear, or anybody that I was in good contact with, so that's a little bit of a mystery to all of us.
So when they saw you laying on the track, they just had the medical crew come over and pick you up and take you?
Pretty much. My dad was there, and they were telling me to move everything, which he thought I just wasn't. He thought I was just being a butthead and not moving anything. But yeah, from there they took me to Arrowhead Hospital, and from once they realized what was going on, I went to Loma Linda.
Gotcha. And how old were you when this happened?
16 years old. I just started my junior year in high school.
So that right there is a a huge thing. Yeah, a tough time to handle. Especially, you're a teenager, you're going through, I mean, you're already going through tough times, you know what I mean? You're growing up, and to have something like that. When I broke my back, I was 19, and it was difficult for me. I could imagine that it was, harder for him. I'm sure there was a lot of trials and tribulations, and we can kind of skip over some of that stuff because I kind of know about it, and we've talked about it with some of our audience already. But was there anything that stuck out to you, like with your family, with the support mechanisms and things like that, that you really hang on to these days too?
It was honestly awesome and overwhelming how the town and my school and everybody reacted. I had tons of support. My family was there. My friends came to see me often while I was in the hospital, and I think that was just the biggest thing. I went back to school for my senior year. They set me up for that. There was just a huge outpouring of support, and I would have never expected it, and it was just really awesome and something I'm super thankful for.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I can definitely chime in on those too, because like over the past year when I got hurt, just the past year, because it's obviously fresh on my mind, is that the amount of outpouring of support is just phenomenal. So it's really neat to see that, and we're getting the same stuff commenting in like on in some of our Facebook comments. You'll have to go back and read through them after we're done having the interview, because there's a ton of people saying how much they really support you, love the family, love everybody around. So it's neat that you're impacting all these people's lives, and you may not even know you're doing it, bud.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't think I was, but if I can, that's definitely the best thing that could come of this, I feel.
Well, dude, one of the things that you inspired me is that freaking setup that you have in your car with the twist throttle and the brake. Like, did you and your dad build that thing? Because that thing is bad.
Yeah, I love it. That's mostly Pops' thought right there and work. I think most of it was I'm always in for it, but he loves it so much that he kind of jumped into that on his own when I was looking into cars and stuff, and he just figured it out. He thought that would be the best way, and so did I, and came to life.
So you were talking about overanalyzing it.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I thought, like when you were talking about it right now, and we're talking about this, was so it's a super kick-ass system. Like I kind of want to drive it and like test it out. So it's a twist throttle with your right hand, and then you can push the brake to move it forward,
Nice.
and then he steers with the left hand. But I was just thinking, like if we're overanalyzing it, dude, your left arm is going to be so much more yoked than your right arm one of these days. Like you're gonna have a Popeye lefty.
He's gonna miss gym day on one side.
Find that bump and all that. Yeah, no, definitely.
How does it work when you're on the track? Can you time stuff better since you can kind of like blip the throttle like on little bumps and stuff?
I think so. I think it's kind of a home feeling for me, and the ECU and everything on that car feels so close to a dirt bike, and the way you can set up your clutch and everything on how it hits on the bottom. But yeah, I think using that throttle it's nice and it's familiar.
Yeah, that's cool. Like right when I put the hand clutch in the YXZ, it's obviously not on the left hand side; it's on the right hand side, but it still gives you that same feeling, like because you can control the motor with your fingers.
Sure.
So it's like super. And I could imagine like having a twist throttle would be the same way.
Isn't that cool that like out of adversity and adaptation, it kind of becomes a little bit of a, like for you, it's probably a little bit of an advantage for you. You know what I'm saying?
I would say so. I think anybody that rides a dirt bike,
Right.
it would be,
That's what I'm
and
getting at.
has ridden a dirt bike, and I think everyone should try it like that. Honestly, it's pretty fun.
So now,
kudos to Pops.
yeah, definitely. That's bitching that Pops came up with it.
definitely.
And so we came up with that whole shifting mechanism for mine, right? And so to go with like what you're saying, I got so many people that were like trying to protest and bitch at me because they were like, "How does he get to use that?" So I'm like, "I can't move my legs, you guys. Like, come on, like, but I can use this and I can do it." And they're telling me that it's an advantage and I shouldn't be able to use it. I'm like, dude, just because you got beat and you can move your legs, don't complain to me. Like, come on.
So the good news is, the racers are treating you like racers treat racers.
Yeah, that's good. So it did actually make me feel good. I took a positive from it. So who knows? Maybe all these moto guys are going to be like, "Oh, Justin gets to run that. What the hell?"
Yeah, I mean, maybe. If I start doing a little better, it might happen.
Your dad's going to make a business out of having like the moto throttles and the razors.
That'd be perfect, honestly.
That would be super cool. We got some more comments that came in that saying how much they love you guys and your family and stuff. That great, humble people with good hearts. So it's really nice to see that. You're definitely going to have to check out the comments afterwards and thank everybody because it's super cool seeing all that outpouring.
That's very awesome.
Okay, so you got hurt, and then so what was it like kind of maybe the next few months or something? Like where was the transitionary period for you, like in at least mentally or physically, whatever you want to call it, to understand what you were going to do next?
Honestly, at first I didn't really know. I just took wanting to ride my dirt bike again as a motivation and went to work on everything the therapist wanted me to do. And it really took probably a year or two to come out of that and start thinking about everything else, around that time, talking about riding the bike was coming up, and then my car came in, and the whole time I was going to school, and I would say it took a couple of years to kind of change the mindset of just a year or two to get used from just getting used to being in this situation,
Yeah, to have limited functionality and how you have to live your life and stuff. Well, now that you mention it, you were talking about kind of thinking about maybe riding the bike and stuff. Brad Davidson commented in and saying that you can actually still ride a motorcycle with a little bit of assistance, and you have some special controls and stuff on it, right?
Yeah, that's something me and Pop also kind of wanted to conquer and worked on together. He built a cage around the legs to steel, and then I have a pingle shifter for like drag bikes.
I had the same
so
one.
I got up and down.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I got clutch and brake, rear brake on the left. Two levers on the left.
That's super cool, man. It's like you think like when you're a normal dude riding a dirt bike, you're like, how's that gonna work? Like I wouldn't be able to do that, but like since he's forced to do it, like you were saying, out of necessity.
So awesome.
Yeah, and he just overcomes and adapts to it. That's bitching, man.
There's such a common success story, or there's a common.
While you talk, I'm gonna put some pictures on so people can look at some pictures of Justin and the things that he's done. So
as we've gone through, talking to a lot of these guys, there's a reoccurring theme, I guess, where it's the new normal.
Yeah.
Right, where you finally have that, whatever it is. I mean, there's pain, there's hardship, there's